Hey, look who's here. Hey, me, Matt. Hey, me and Matt here. Well, after watching the whole Wheels of Fury show, because I caught a few matches, I only caught actually the last 3 matches at least. Yeah, it wasn't really as bad as I thought. Could have been a hell of a lot better. Obviously, they worked with what they had. It was like 2.5 hours. I expected it to be the usual 4 hours, but it is what it fucking is, you know? I mean, I know what's going on right now, and what can I say, really? It really comes down to why, but I know why, and that's just the way it is. So, yeah, here we go. So we're going to start off with the pre-show. This was obviously thrown together. We got Kevin Owens versus Buddy Murphy, and this was actually a really good match to start the show. And, well, you know what I mean. You had Buddy started off trying to get ahead, but Kevin missed with a stunner. That was a really good back and forth, you know. Kevin Owens missed a couple stunners, and Buddy kind of did his job in the ring, you know. When he went outside, you had the barricade was used a lot, quite a bit during the night, but it was a good show, and Kevin actually won, and so yeah, that was an interesting way to start the show. And yeah, unfortunately, these matches, some of them were added in the last minute. I mean, we kind of knew with this one, the Smackdown Tag Team Championship, with tables match, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the New Day, and this was a good show too. I actually liked the fact that they added a banner on the ceiling. Like, you always think it's CGI, but I think in this case it was actually a banner, and you had Big E with all the championship titles they've had. So that was a nice touch. This was a good show. You know, it was Kofi fired up. You had a spot where he got his back into the barricade on the outside. A lot of reversals, you know. They got tables set up, and you were gonna have a super suplex, and that was stopped a few times by Big E and Cesaro even. Yeah, Big E do a spear onto the outside, and yeah, it was having Big E being taken out on the other side while Kofi was being tended to with Nakamura and Cesaro. They had 2 tables stacked, and you had that it was going to be used for either Nakamura or Cesaro, but they had Kofi up on the top rope, and Cesaro drove him straight down to the 2 tables, allowing them to become the new Smackdown Tag Team Champions. And I think this is a good thing. I mean, look, Cesaro hasn't had it. Well, I wish he would have a singles championship run, but he hasn't had a WWE Championship since he was the tag champions with Sheamus and Nakamura. This is going to be his first tag team championship run, in WWE. He was the US champion and the Intercontinental champion recently. So it's going to be interesting to see how far this goes. But yeah, I don't know how long the New Day is going to last, to be honest with you. They're already, I believe, 9-time champions, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I'm glad to see new tag team champions in Cesaro and Nakamura. You had the Smackdown Women's Championship, Sasha in the corner of Bayley, who took on Nikki Cross with Alexa in her corner. So, this was a pretty good match too. I mean, Bayley definitely shows her mean streak here. Bayley went into the one apron in between the ring and disappeared on the other side. And you had her mock that Bayley, you know, whatever the fuck this is. And yeah, basically they had Nikki over to the corner, and Bayley took Sasha's boss ring or whatever and decked Nikki with it, thus retaining the Smackdown Championship. You know, like, I just don't understand what... Well, it is Extreme Rules. I don't even fucking know anymore. I know Nikki's gonna get a rematch at some point. We'll see what happens at the end of the night. And, I don't even want to bother with this one, but I will anyways. We're supposed to have the United States Championship match, and I guess Apollo didn't show up. So that was bullshit in itself, and I just don't understand why they had to do this. You know, this really is... I just don't get it. And I knew this would happen. MVP brings out the new US Championship belt, and him and Bobby flaunted around for a long time. And, you know, Apollo was injured, and, you know, he was out for a long time, and he was supposed to come back for Extreme Rules, but apparently he didn't show up, and he forfeited the title. So now MVP actually is the United States Champion. That's shit like this that exists in WWE today. Very, very stupid. Very fucking dumb. So now we have the IA versus I match, I for an I match, if you will. Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio. And holy shit, you know, they took each other to the fucking limit. Obviously, Rey got beat up the most. I mean, fuck, he took a dive outside the ring and landed on a table. And, you know, the table only brought out with the toolbox. They tried to get at each other's eye. You had Rey, who planted Seth's eye on the stairs as karma or revenge, and that obviously did not work. You know, you had, you know, Seth working on Rey's eye. So, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't believe anybody saw what happened. But it appears that Rey's eye was taken out, because Seth is looking in shock, and he wins the match, but he's walking to the other side of the ring, puking. Anyways, yeah, so we'll see what happens. Rey gets carted off by Dominic, and the referee's putting pressure on the eye, you know. But I didn't see the eyeballs, so I'm not even sure. I mean, this was a weird match to begin with. Now you have the Raw Women's Championship match. You've got Asuka with Kairi Sane versus Sasha Banks with Bayley, of course. And I'm not quite sure what happened. this match was good. I will say, and Kyle was right, this match was good. You had Sasha, who you could say she could be a good luchador, because she did a lot of good high fly spots. She, did a thing where she went on to the ropes, grabbing Asuka's arm, kind of like an old school, but, did the somersault thing. She did a high fly flow off the top rope. Very good. But once again, as good as this match was, you take chicken salad and you made chicken shot! So, Sasha's on the mat, Asuka's on the mat, and Bayley throws Sasha the title. So she picks up the title and she's looking at Asuka and she's gonna hit her. And the referee goes, "No, Sasha, don't do it." So Sasha puts the belt down. The match kind of, continues as Asuka gets up and she hits Sasha with the mist, except it wasn't Sasha, it was actually the referee. So now the referee's blind. The referee gets taken out. Then here comes Sasha, and Sasha grabs the belt and she hits Asuka with it. Well, instead of getting the referee, guess what? Bayley goes over to the referee on the ground, then takes the referee's shirt off. Yes, it puts the referee's shirt on, and goes into the ring. And then Asuka gets pinned. 1, 2, 3, and then they go out and then they celebrate. 1. Bayley is not a referee. 2. This match is not over. So I don't know what's gonna happen tonight, but fuck, man. I'm really getting sick and tired of this shit. I really am. What was that I said in the beginning? 2-man power trip as tag team champions.
Yes.
And Stone Cold was WWF champion. And Triple H was Intercontinental champion.
Uh-huh.
But Mercedes and Pam are not the 2-man power trip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And something's got to be done. Something has to be done. Because this is bullshit. This is really, you had a good match and it all went to shit. Fucking dumb. So now we have the WWE Championship match. We have Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, Dolph came out and he picks the mic up, and I thought, I wonder what's going to happen in this match. And it's going to be an Extreme Rules match. I just know it. And it was. The kicker. So Dolph said, I get to use whatever the fuck I want, but you can't use anything or you're going to get disqualified. If you cheat, you'll get disqualified. If you this, I'll get disqualified, whatever. Still, pretty good match. McIntyre beat the fuck right out of Dolph, right on the outside, on the inside. Dolph was going to go for the zigzag, I'm sure, and hit a Claymore. And Drew is still your champion. So, that's impressive. After having the odds taken away from Drew, he still managed to pick up the win. So here's my thing. Nick Nemeth gets no more chances. It's done. He's had way too many chances, and it's done. You had the last match, you had the Wyatt Swamp fight, and yeah, I really hyped this up. I really hyped this up as hell. So, Wyatt's sitting on the swamp, he's sitting in his rocking chair. Braun comes up to no music, unfortunately. You have them talking back and forth, and they start fighting. They go into the water with the plants, I don't even know what they're called. They have, stock footage of alligators. shit like that. Snakes. I actually had one guy come out and he had a python with him, which apparently struck Braun. There was a blackout. He had Braun fight a bunch of guys. Okay. You have I'm sorry. You have Sister Abigail coming out, and she's talking to Braun. And she's like, you know, we could be together, Braun. We could be together. So then, Bray Wyatt comes back and they fight. And Bray gets knocked onto a boat. And the boat just goes away. So there's Braun. He's walking past the swamp and he's going to leave. And somehow there's a red screen. Braun Strowman's in the water. And Bray and him have another fight. And then they disappear under the water. And then the Fiend pops his head out. And that's the end of the show. I want to say a lot of hype without payoff. But I just don't know anymore. The writers are fucked up. The man that runs the show is fucked up. And I get it. It's COVID still. And, you know, people need to be safe. And I truly get that. I want to be safe too. But to give a shit like this for 2.5 hours, really? And granted, Asuka and Sasha Banks was good up until the end. I did actually enjoy the tag team match. And you know, I hyped it up. And yeah, the swamp fight was good. But come on, I mean, you could do better than this. You really can. No referee, and Bailey puts on a ref shirt. That's fucking bullshit. Anyways. Talk to you later.